published 4:39 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 4th of May 2018, updated 11:39 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 4th of May 2018. It's Arsene Wenger's final home game as Arsenal manager this weekend, with Burnley the guests for his farewell. Elsewhere, Chelsea will be looking to bring Champions League finalists Liverpool back down with a bump. Manchester United are in action at Brighton on Friday night, and the relegation battle heats up even more with a few teams still not safe. Here's our game-by-game betting guide to the penultimate weekend in the Premier League. United got the expected result against Arsenal last time out. It just took longer than expected to get there with Marwan Fellaini's last gasp winner, but things should be a bit simpler for Jose Mourinho's side on the South Coast. They've beaten Brighton twice this season already, 2-0 in the FA Cup and 1-0 in the Premier League, and another United win without conceding is 19/10. Boyle Sports. Brighton aren't mathematically safe and face Man City and Liverpool after this match, but United can guarantee second place with the win. The no better than 8/11 for the points, while 1-0 is 13 halves and 2-0 is 15 halves. Paul Pogba was on target as Manchester United beat Arsenal 2-1 at Old Trafford last weekend. Palace haven't quite got the flip-flops on them feet up, but it would take a few minor miracles from the teams below them to suck them back into the relegation zone after a rescue job well done Roy Hodgson. So, is this one of the rare occasions when backing Stoke might be the way to go? Probably not. Palace have beaten them more than they have any other team in the Premier League, 6 from 9, and Paul Lambert's side are on the longest winless run in English League football. Nevertheless, they are still scrapping away and have drawn the last 3, against West Ham, Burnley and Liverpool, so a fourth in a row could be the best bet. You can get 5 halves. It finishes all square, while 1-1 is 6/1. Swansea will be back in the bottom 3 if they don't win, and Southampton do, so they won't be lacking motivation for the trip to the South Coast. What they are missing is someone who can put the ball in the net. In the last 7 games in all competitions they've scored just 2 goals, against Everton and West Brom. However, the chances are they'll get at least one against the Cherries. In the 23 league games Bournemouth have played since drawing 0-0 with Swansea in November, only once have they kept a clean sheet, against Chelsea. Both teams to score looks nailed on 3/4 with a few firms, while a draw with both teams on target is 18/5 with Bet Victor. This pair conceded 9 goals between them last weekend, and while West Ham's mauling at the hands of Man City wasn't a surprise, Leicester leaking 5 to Crystal Palace certainly was. The Hammers have much more to play for. They're only 3 points above 18th place, and a nervy 90 minutes is on the cards at the King Power. That could mean goals. You have to go back to November 29 for the last time the Hammers failed to score in a league match away from home, but they've also conceded more, 42, on the travels than any team in the division. Over 3.5 in the match is 12/5 with Betfair, while both teams to score in both halves is a sweet 16/1. It was a huge shock to see Leicester concede 5 against Crystal Palace last time out. Newcastle would have been easier to back in this one if it had been a couple of weeks ago, especially at odds of 2/1, but successive 1-0 defeats by Everton and West Brom snapped the impressive run they were on from March into April, but a couple of narrow losses on the spin is nothing compared with Watford's miserable sequence, 7 games without a win, 5 of them defeats, and they failed to register a goal in 5 of them. If they can get one here, though, it could be enough to give fans something to cheer in the final home game of the season. Watford are 6/4 for the victory, a 3/1 to win by 1 goal. And 1-0 to the hosts is 15 halves. Darren Moore could end up relegated and unbeaten when the curtain comes down on his season, and while Tottenham should pose the West Brom caretaker problems, they're not, on paper anyway, his toughest test. Moore has already managed to steer the Baggies to a win at Old Trafford and a draw at home to Liverpool in his 4-match run without defeat. West Brom will have a few backers at 17 halves, Bet Victor and Hills, while the draw is widely available at 4/1. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the teams finished 1-1, including the return fixture back in November. If you fancy a long shot, how about Spurs to be winning the break and the game to end all square? You can get 21/1 with Bet Victor. Everton will be showing off the new home kit in Saturday evening's live telly game, and with the Umbro diamond on the sleeve it's a nod back to the 90s. Things were different then. Reality TV didn't exist, the music was better, and so was the football Everton were playing. Well, some of it anyway. Sections of the Goodison Park faithful aren't happy with what's on show despite Sam Allardyce not losing a match in April and guiding them to 8th place. They've won the last two but are still 2-1, widely available to beat a Saints side desperately trying to claw their way up the cliff face. The hosts are 7/2 to win by a goal and Tosun is 10/3. Boyle Sports. In the score-win double, Everton will be giving fans a look at the home kit for next season when they play Southampton. Champions have been easy to back on the handicap and total goals markets in the last couple of weeks, and if it isn't broken, don't fix it. They score for fun. That's 102 for the season, one short of Chelsea's record. Huddersfield don't. No team in the league has scored fewer goals than David Wagner's, and the recent return is 2 in 7 games. City are no better than 1/10 the price. That, to the average punter, is about as much use as a side door on a canoe, but the 9/5 -3 goals and 9/2 -4. Gabriel Jesus is finishing the season in the type of form he was in before his injury, and 6 goals in his last 9 games is good news for Brazil with the World Cup just around the corner, but also for anyone backing him to score 2 or more on Sunday. 16/5 with Betfair and Paddy Power. Manchester City striker Gabriel Jesus scored for the 4th game in a row last week. Atletico Madrid on their own patch was always going to be too tough a nut to crack, so it's all about the send-off now and Arsene Wenger's final home game. Arsenal still have to go to Leicester and Huddersfield, but all eyes will be on the Emirates Stadium on Sunday, and not all of them will be dry. Cheers and tears will greet Wenger as he signs off, and you would fancy the players to do him proud. The 4/7 to win, but the 10/3 on them winning by 3 or more appeals despite Burnley not conceding more than a couple since Man City put 4 past them in early January. Slightly safer is the 3/1 Arsenal win, and there's more than 3.5 total goals in the game. Arsenal are out of Europe, and now all eyes are on manager Arsene Wenger's final home match bodies. Teams can end the season with silverware. Liverpool have a Champions League cracker with Real Madrid to look forward to a week after Chelsea face Manchester United in the FA Cup final. They'll look to build momentum and both go into this one in form. Chelsea have won 4 in a row in all competitions, while Liverpool were unbeaten in 9-6 wins before a 4-2 defeat at Roma that still saw them through to Kiev at the end of the month. This is a hard one to call, but that epic encounter in the Italian capital will have taken its toll on a red side who have now conceded 8 goals in the last 4 games, all competitions, so Chelsea to shade it is the pick. The hosts are 27/20 for the win and 3/1 to win, with both teams scoring. Homes: Arsenal, Everton, Scunthorpe, Barnet, Mansfield. 20/1 Marathon, Bet Victor, Betfair aways Plymouth, Wigan, Grimsby. 11/1 widely available draws: Leicester v West Ham, Derby v Burton, Rangers v Kilmarnock. 65/1 several firms anytime scorers: Aaron Ramsey, Tosun, Eden Hazard, Gabriel Jesus. 47 1888 Sport and Unibet from oddschecker.com. Corrected time of publication.